On April 8th, 2024, we had a solar eclipse in the star sign of Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac and describes our identity, how we present ourselves, our roles in friendship, family, our communities, how others see us. And it's also the sign of spring, blossoming new beginnings, fresh starts, initiating new sparks of inspiration, and leaving the past behind without looking back. The last time we had an April 8th solar eclipse in the sign of Aries was in 2005. And a few months later, there was Hurricane Katrina, which had devastating effects on Louisiana for many years to come, and quite literally abruptly changed the face, the identity of this rich, historic place. So when a solar eclipse hits the zodiac sign of our very identity, it shakes things up. And in 2005, it ushered in a pivotal turning point in my own life. That year, I went through a major breakup. I had panic attacks and depression. I spent 2 months on anti-anxiety medication, but I also went on a week-long cross-country road trip in an 18-wheeler, took boxing lessons, took drumming lessons, played bass in a cover band at Meow Mix, had solo exhibitions of my photographs, and was hired at my first official job in television at BBC. I was thrust into a new direction in my life. The fearless Aries wants to explore new frontiers and honors their instincts and intuition. So a new chapter on many levels of life are possible with the solar eclipse in Aries, something to expect in this next chapter of all of our lives. And the solar eclipse always brings accelerated change. Not only did the 2005 and 2024 solar eclipses in the sign of Aries fall on April 8th, but they both were closely positioned to the celestial body called Chiron, which means that there is another energy that influences these stark changes in our lives this year. Chiron is nicknamed the wounded healer. In Greek mythology, Chiron was half man, half beast, who was rejected by his mother for the way he looked, his abnormalities, basically his identity as a centaur. His wound was this deep rejection and abandonment, but he learned to redirect the pain into art, music, archery, and medicine, quite literally the healing arts. So the Chiron energy brings a vulnerability to the whole process, taking our Achilles heel, our own individual profound grief and pain, and brings it into the light where it can ultimately be loved and embraced and cared for. Carl Jung also describes the wound as a strength. By allowing for the deep insecurities of the self, by embracing the shadow aspects of the self, you become stronger, more integrated, and better able to deal with the challenges of life. So I think the Chiron pain in each of us is sort of a secret superpower. He didn't wear his wound like a badge of honor and cross over to the threshold of victimhood, but instead transformed it into something beautiful and free, into creation. He transformed his pain into a purpose. Thinking of the intense vulnerability that Hurricane Katrina brought, it feels a bit like that. The landscape of your body being opened to monsters and demons and flooded by ghosts and goblins of the surrounding world. At least that's how it felt to me in 2005, until I started to see those little monsters as a gift, to plow forward into the great unknown and embrace that adventurous Aries sun. So this year, with that mythical celestial Chiron sitting almost right on top of the solar eclipse, creating deep sensitivity on top of highly charged intensity, and poking at the parts of our identity that no longer serve our highest good, forcing us through the pain to look at a new way of life. No matter if those changes are perceived as good or bad, the sun will shine again, and the shadows will make an art show on the cave walls. And there will be a new dawn, a new spring in our step, and a brand new identity to explore. The end.